Hi everyone, welcome to Init Talks. Happy to see everybody here. We got wonderful Megan Mayer tonight with us. She's a two-time NHRA World Champion. Welcome, Megan. Thank you so much for taking your time and being with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so let's start. You literally just grow up as a drag racer, yeah, from your childhood. So tell me about your earliest memories and how you actually get and all these things started for you.
Yeah, so I was born into it since day one. My dad was racing, and he got started when he was a kid with his oldest brother. And I have a little sister, so we're second generation drag racers. And yeah, like I just instantly loved it. You know, grew up at the racetrack watching my dad drive. My sister and I would help him work on the cars whenever he needed help. The race shop was just our garage. So, we'd spend nights and weekends out there working. And then when I was 10 years old, we got a junior dragster, which is what the kids can race. And my sister got one as well. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we just loved it. It was so much fun. And even now, all the experience that I have, I still think that racing as a kid was the most fun that I've ever had with racing. And just, learning as you go. Of course, there's a lot of bad times and you don't win every single race, unfortunately. But yeah, it's still so much fun. And then from there, I just worked my way up through the ranks as I got older. And then in 2016 was when I decided we went pro with it, and just with my dad's team and my dad's car. And so he stepped out. He's no longer driving. I got to step in and drive the car, and I did it full time for 5 years. And that's when we won the two championships, and we had a really successful career with it. And so now I just race part time. I just go for fun. I don't do any competition
Mm-hmm.
anymore. But yeah, I just still try to have that competitive side with it when I can.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, when you're in childhood, you got really bright memories, yeah, and bright experience. Can agree with you in this. Uh, can you tell me more about the first race which you did and what emotions you get and what actually the most exciting thing for you in drag racing?
Yeah. I do remember like my very first race that I did. And I remember it because I got second place at my first race, and then I won the second race, which they were back to back. But that's only because there was like very little cars that actually showed up. So I didn't have like
Mm-hmm.
many cars to beat. But yeah, so instantly, I was just hooked because I started off so well with it. And yeah, I feel like we had, did pretty good with it. I also remember with the car that I raced professionally, which is called Top Alcohol Dragster. I do remember the first race that I did with that. It was actually 2015, so I know I said 2016, but the year before, we were for actually a few years, we were going through the whole licensing process and what it takes, because you have to be able to go a certain speed on the track before NHRA will let you come race. So we were just taking our time with that because at that time I was in college, and my dad and I agreed that I wouldn't race until I was done with school and got that out of the way. And so we took our time with it. But actually, the summer before I graduated, because I graduated in December, the summer before, he let me do two races, and they were just the ones that were closest to home. But it's cool because my dad also, those were his like last two races, and I didn't know that at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought my dad would keep driving, but I didn't know he was going to completely step away from it. But it was just cool because I got to race with my dad. We didn't actually get to race against each other
Mm-hmm.
because we do a ladder system, and so we weren't in the same brackets. But if we both would have made it to the final round, we would have met. But I fell out early. He did make it to the finals, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't make it that far. But yeah, so it's cool, like to be able to. That's the only time I ever got to race with like alongside my dad. So yeah, it's just cool to have that memory, even though, you know, we didn't win the race or anything like that. But yeah, it's just, you know, I love doing it with my family. I haven't raced with another team. I've been
Mm-hmm.
fortunate enough to where we have built up a good business with the race team, so we are able to sustain it. And I know that's not always the case, and it's very hard. And that's where having good sponsors come in really help to support that. Um, but we also have amazing crews that work on the car that give us good cars to go and compete and race with. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of downtime because of drag
Mm-hmm.
racing. It's super fast for a short amount of time, but then you gotta wait a while. Um, yeah, it's just everybody's just tinkering, trying to find that, you know, one little thing we can do just to make the cars go faster the next time. Because with drag racing, it's all about speed, and you want to be the first to the finish line. And everybody's trying to just find that perfect tune up and the perfect parts to be able to make it go faster.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool that you had opportunity to race with your dad together. I think it's really warm moment for you. I remember that I raced with my dad in karting when I started. I was like in the junior class. He was in adult class, and we've been on track together. That was really fun for us. I know that you weren't just a driver, so you worked as mechanic and photographer also. So can you tell me more about this and how this actually influenced into your racing career?
Yeah, yeah. So growing up, when my dad raced, because back then it was just a part-time thing, more of a hobby for him. It wasn't actually a business, but we did have a couple partners, and so I had to learn marketing. I had to learn how to take his pictures and videos and how to write up press releases and send our results to our partners and friends and family that want to keep up to date. And this was before we had social media. We had a website, but that was it. And so I had to update the website after every race. And then, yeah, and then also we have to work on the cars too. And so my sister really grew to like part of it. So she went on to she's a mechanical engineer. And anytime she comes to the racetrack, she wants to work on the cars. She doesn't want to do anything else. Whereas I took the side of the marketing role, the business side of it, the
Mm-hmm.
admin side. And so, yeah, so like we complement each other really well, but we definitely don't cross over and we can't do the other girl's job. But yeah, so that's just where I fell in love with the marketing, branding, social media, because then that, you know, came later on. Yeah, I love all that side of it, and graphic design, doing our shirts and videos and all that type of stuff. I find that fun.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. So you actually help your sister. It's really nice. The whole family in this racing. It's really cool. Um,
Yeah.
can you tell me more about how you fell in love with graphic design and what are you doing right now in this?
Yeah. So I really didn't know anything about graphic design or really anything about marketing. It was just like kind of what I learned working with my dad and just what I heard from what other people were doing. And so it really wasn't till I got to college I was able to take my first graphic arts class, because they didn't have that in the high school that I went to, because we went to a really small school. And so yeah, I went to college knowing nothing about it, but I knew that I wanted to learn graphic design because I knew it is something that can help us out with the racing. And that was my whole purpose behind it. Yeah, it led to a business that I have now. Just did this stuff for our own team. But then a couple of friends would be like, hey, can you make us a card? Or can you make us a t-shirt design? Or
Mm-hmm.
can you help me with social media? And so then I just was doing freelance work on the side. And I did that for, oh gosh, I think like 5, 6 years. And then after that, after working with a bunch of clients, and it was just growing year after year, and working with a couple other local businesses too. Then 2019 was when I decided to get into more of the educational
Mm-hmm.
part of it and do more coaching and consulting. So that's my main focus now. I've started up the Motorsports Marketing Tips Agency. And so we do both. We focus on the graphic design, the marketing needs, anything that a driver or a race team needs to help promote their brand or build their brand. I want to offer all those services, but then also if they need help with social media management or help with their content, or if they need help and advice with how to get sponsors, we also offer that side as well. So my dream one day is to have a company where it can just be a one-stop shop where any type of racer can come and we can help them with anything that they need.
Mm-hmm. It's a really nice goal, I think, because definitely the social medias are so important nowadays, and for drivers to find their sponsors to go in a racing career. Uh, let's jump back a little bit to how is it for you to be the rookie of the year and win two championships?
Yeah. Oh, that was so much fun. My rookie year, I won one race, which is awesome. But we went to a lot of other races, and we actually had a really bad year. We blew up 5 motors, which we haven't done that in a really long time before that or after that, thankfully. But yeah, we went through a lot of parts that year, had a lot of damage. But it's just so cool because I was nominated to be the rookie driver of the year. And so it's just really honored to get an award like that. Even though we didn't win that many races, but still we had a lot of fun doing it. And then like fast forward a few years, winning the championship. It's cool to look back and see how much you've grown and changed over the years, even though we're always just like go go go, and we're doing the same thing every single weekend. But you learn, you get faster at some things, you get more efficient. And then like just as a driver, like just learning. I like to think of it like just just like putting walls up and not trying to let emotions get to you, not trying to let another competitor try to mess me up, like just get in the zone
Mm-hmm.
and to do my job and do the exact same thing every single time. Because when the driver's consistent, the tuner and the crew can make changes on the car and the motor
Mm-hmm.
and the tune up to work around the driver. And it's like one thing now that we really try to focus on, because now with my dad's team, we have a lot of new drivers that come in and we coach them and we train them. And usually they stay with us for a few years and then they move on to other classes. But yeah, so we just try to teach them, hey, you just need to be deadly consistent
Mm-hmm.
every single time, so that way it makes everybody else's job easier.
Mm-hmm. So actually, just like in road racing or in oval, like everywhere. Can you tell me more because I'm curious about drag racing? The reaction I think is also really important. Yeah, and you have to do this consistently. So how the training actually looks for the driver who's coming to the drag racing?
Yeah. So it's funny because it's very little training. With drag racing, really it's just all about seat time. And it's all about your mental strength as
Mm-hmm.
well. Because like I was saying, you can't let outside sources affect you once you're inside the car. And so yeah, with drag racing, the driver's most important job is to have a really good reaction time and cut a light when goes from yellow to green. And you just got to train yourself to stare at the light bulb and see like when it starts to fade out, because that's when you want to step on the gas.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's really hard to train for that though. So I we'll use blaze pods, which are these pods that light up, and then there's an app on your phone that you can set like different
Mm-hmm.
sequences, so you don't know which is going to light up, so you got to tap the one that does. I like to use those, but and you know, it helps sharpen your skill, but there's nothing that compares to actually being in a car while it's running,
Mm-hmm.
having, you know, the vibrations, your heart is racing, you know, you might be stressed out, you got adrenaline pumping, um and you know, you're worried about beating someone else. Like, there's just nothing that compares to when you're in that zone. So we really like, in drag racing, there's really not much practicing or training that you can do. You know, you just need to be overall fit and healthy. But other than that, honestly, it's just about getting as much seat time as you can.
Mm-hmm. So just to get used to the speed and vibrations and everything, and be actually focus on only on the car and only on lights to do everything in time, right?
Yeah, yeah. And with drag racing, you only got one shot. So
Mm-hmm.
if you mess up, then you lose. There's not another lap that you can do. You can't restart the race. So yeah, you just gotta be 100% every single time you get into the car, because you only get one shot.
Mm-hmm. So talking about this one shot, so you breaking a long-standing NHRA track record. So tell me more about this, how that felt, and what did you do in this day?
Yeah, yeah. So that was during one of the biggest races of the year. It's like our Super Bowl race that we go to. But then also it was during COVID. And
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, it's kind of like we were in the later half of the season, but still, you know, everybody's got to wear masks. We got to all stand apart. There's not very many fans there. And so, you know, it's just different being at the track when it's like that. But yeah, we ended up having like absolute perfect conditions with weather, with the track, with how the car was set up, and thankfully driver did her job and didn't mess up. But yeah, it was during eliminations, and I had no idea. Like, I know obviously we try to set the car up to be as fast as possible, but that was uh, very like a lot more speed than what we normally do. And so I just didn't see it coming. And honestly, I didn't know exactly how fast we went until I was able to get off the track. Um, and then what we do is they have time slips that are printed. And so the
Mm-hmm.
guys, whenever the crew guys come from the starting line to where we're at the very end of the track, they pick up that time slip and bring it to the driver at the end. So I have to just sit there and wait. I don't know what my time was. Like, I know I won because I can see the win light, but I don't know how fast I went or
Mm-hmm.
anything of the details of the race. And also, it was very late out. So a lot of the track staff had already left and gone home. There wasn't any like TV crew there, like, because there's already, I believe there's like a rainstorm that came in. So everything got pushed back. And so a lot of people left. And so, yeah, so there wasn't very many people at the track. And then we just like set the world record. And then there's like nobody there to see it. So thankfully, you know, there was like a little bit of, you know, people recording on their phones and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just like, I didn't believe it because the car felt fast, but it didn't feel like it was like a crazy amount
Mm-hmm.
faster. I just knew it was a good run. So once they told me, and the record is 509, and yeah, we're just like, what, like, no idea. So yeah, we had a good celebration that night, but couldn't stay up too late because we still had to keep racing the next day,
Mm-hmm. That's
which we
nice.
did end up winning the race, so which was awesome.
Oh, it's really cool that everybody like, okay, we're going home, and you set the world record at the time, and yeah, that's
Yeah, like nobody sees it.
all right.
Yeah.
And I think after this, so you won two championships, and you decided to step away from racing and focus on marriage and motherhood. Um, How was it to make this decision for you? Was it hard to like stop racing and do different thing for you?
Yeah. It honestly was not a hard decision, which I know kind of shocks people. But I was just getting burnt out on all the traveling, media, sponsor stuff, all this stuff. It just takes a toll on you when you're doing it
Mm-hmm.
just nonstop. And this was 5 years in with my professional career, but total it was like um, I think it was like 15, maybe more years that I had been racing nonstop. And so I was ready for a break. And then, yeah, like trying to have a serious relationship at home when you're gone all the time is really hard, trying to date long distance. And so I knew, you know, for the sake of our relationship that I needed to be home. I needed to
Mm-hmm.
step away from racing. And at the time I was just, I was ready to take a break. And so yeah, so it wasn't a hard decision for me. And I don't regret it at all. We've got an amazing family. And but yeah, so we're just slowly trying to get back into it. But like I said, I'm not doing anything super competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Just the like really fun races that we go to. The guys let me hop back in the car when I can.
Yeah, it's really nice that you decided to change your focus and you actually take it easy. Because for some people, to stop racing and do something different, like jump into motherhood or like some other stuff as well, it can be a really hard decision because this is what you're doing the whole life, yes, from childhood. And it's really nice that you decided that okay, like I can do this, and then you just jump into marketing and doing it right now. um, so can you tell me,
Yeah.
as we're talking about the marketing, what the biggest mistakes which you see drivers doing to not reach their sponsors and teams as well, so what they actually can make better to bring those important sponsors into their careers.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot, but really it's all about your strategy. And so most racers think that they can offer, hey, most companies just want the exposure and the advertisement, and that's really not the case anymore. Um, Advertising is really cheap right now, and so if a company wants an advertisement, well, they could go and get it themselves somewhere, whether
Hmm.
that's on, social media or traditional or TV or streaming or anything like that. There's a lot of different avenues and it's pretty cheap. So, back in the day that was the case, but that's really not the case right now. And so the advertising part of it has really decreased in value. But what's more important is the relationships that you build,
Hmm.
networking, being able to actually be an extension of a company's marketing department and not just advertise for them. So, trying to sell their products, going to events that they don't normally go to, try to sample products, anything like that. And the biggest challenge that I see with racers is that they're struggling with that, but then also they're not reaching out to the right companies either.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's, hey, you see this company sponsor another racer and you think, oh well, they've got money to sponsor them, they should have money to sponsor me. But you don't know exactly why they sponsored that racer. You might think,
Hmm.
oh, they just wanted the advertising, or maybe it's just a friend or something like that. But something deeper, and there might actually be a business deal going on there as well. So, there's not a company's got going to be the perfect fit for every racer that's out there. So you need to find the ones that are the perfect fit for you. And actually, I'm going to be hosting a free event where I'm going to teach racers about this. And so I haven't told anyone about this yet, so you're one of the first ones to know. But yeah, it's a prospecting challenge that I'm going to host, and I'll work with you. It's a 5 day long event, just virtually, and so we'll meet every day just for a couple minutes, and I'll help work with the racers and show them exactly, hey, these are the steps that you should follow to find those right companies first, because it's a lot easier when you find maybe 10, 20, 30 companies that would be a really good fit
Mm-hmm.
versus trying to reach out to 100 companies that they're never going to get back to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for anyone that challenge, it's totally free to do. It's just going to be on Zoom, and then we have a Facebook group with it as well. But if anyone wants more information, they can just go to motorsportsmarketingtips.com/challenge, and all the information is there, and they can register for free there if they want to.
It's nice. So, guys, don't forget to join this and gain some new experience, new skills for your career. Um, yeah, I think that, reaching big companies with big names, it can be really hard sometimes. And as you said, yeah, you can reach like 20, 30 companies, and it will be like better and more effective by the end of the day. And I think I agree with you. And also, we can see in NASCAR, for example, we can see that on the cars, a lot of little sponsors, yeah. And I think it's really working well. Um, Speaking about being the female drag racer in this industry, so how do you feel? Do you feel any pressure, anything like this on you to being the women in this one?
Hmm. So there's really not that much in drag racing, and I think that's because it's just become more normal
Mm-hmm.
to have female drivers against the males, and it's just been happening for a lot longer than it has in other motorsports. So I feel like drag racing does have kind of that advantage over other sports, but we lack in some other areas. But yeah, it's just I've been able to watch so many amazing women race
Mm-hmm.
before me and stuff, and yeah, I just see it growing more and more each day, and it's really cool to especially see little girls that are getting into it, and it's like, oh yeah, like I was a little girl, just getting into racing one day. And so yeah, so we always try to encourage them. But what's awesome is the males that we race against, there's not too much prejudice against us. Like, they do kind of treat us like they're allies, or like we're equal competitors, because we know it's more about the car that you're driving versus the driver that's in the
Mm-hmm.
car. uh, and so yeah, so like performance is all about the car. The driver, of course, has to do their job and get a good reaction time. But other than that, like, the car's doing all the work. So yeah, so I feel like there's not too much, we're not treated very differently. Whereas like I know in other motorsports, that's not the case. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, I feel like with drag racing, we're just kind of have had that for a longer time to be able to get to where we are now.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a goal for like road racing and for ovals and the rest racing categories to reach this level to have girls like on the same level as boys, and here's no difference. Like that we can be equal in this, and that's really cool that it's happening already in drag racing. So probably we gotta hope for other racing categories as well. Um,
Yeah.
so, what advice would you give to anyone who's entering the drag racing from your side?
Yeah. Good question. I would say for someone that's new, don't be afraid to ask questions. Really, everyone at the track is usually really friendly and can help you out, whether you need parts or equipment, anything like that. I feel like, we're all pretty open and willing to help new people. Um, but also, I would say, like, yeah, I mean, just like, you find your group, and you stick together and help each other out. And it's funner when you're racing with friends and you've got your group, your community there at the racetrack, versus when you're alone, because I have tried to step out into other motorsports and I have felt alone and lost and didn't know what I was doing and didn't stick with it. So yeah, so just being able to like find that group that you really connect with can be super helpful for when you're starting out and for longevity.
Mm-hmm. It's really nice. And can you tell me about your plans for this year and the coming years, and also where our viewers can find you online and also jump into your courses and like communicate with you in social medias?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I have done one race this year, which was 2 weeks ago. And then I will be doing two more races later on this summer. So very excited for that. And then my little sister is going to come and compete with me, which she has had a few years off because she's also pursued marriage and motherhood.
Uh-huh.
And so this will be her first time coming back in a few years. So excited to have her back, but also it's funny, like she's my favorite person to race against because we do a lot of mind games and like we're always trying to mess each other up as much as we can. And so it makes it like fun and competitive,
Mhm.
even though and then it's like someone loses at the end of the day and then it's like they're all pissy and then you got to deal with that. But yeah, so it's fun. Yeah, so we'll be doing that this summer. And then yeah, anyone can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Megan Meyer Racing. And then you can go to Motorsports Marketing Tips is also on Instagram and Facebook. And I try to do as much as I can there, just giving out free advice, whether it's about social media or marketing or sponsorships. So you can check out the videos and posts that I have there. And then on my website, I have a blog. We also have templates and courses there. So yeah, so just depending on where you need help with, hopefully we have something that could help out the racers.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, amazing. Thank you so much, Megan, for being with us. You're absolutely amazing. I wish you good luck in your marketing way and to help other drivers to grow in the drag racing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been great. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.